It hurt like hell. Hi guys, I hope you're having a super great day. I am, thank you. We're just going to dive right into it because today I'm going to talk about things that I didn't expect to change on HRT, testosterone blockers, and estrogen. So let's just get into it right away. So the first thing is my muscle mass, or the loss of the muscle mass, so to speak. I never imagined it to be the way that it actually was. Obviously, I knew that I was going to lose a lot of muscle mass. However, I was kind of shocked by how fast the process, or how fast everything just happened. I went on the HRT and just after a couple of months, my muscle mass just kind of went down the drain. I lost a ton of muscles and I became a lot weaker. I mean, I became weak as hell. Everyone knows that testosterone is what helps build muscles, or like the more testosterone you have, the easier it is to build up your muscle mass, and that's why men typically have more muscle mass than women do. And when I went on the testosterone blockers, obviously it blocks off the testosterone, and beforehand I knew that my muscles were going to disintegrate, or how to put it. However, in my head it had more to do with appearance rather than, you know, your muscles actually doing things. I know that that sounds very stupid. One day to another, I just became weak as hell, and I wasn't really prepared for it. I wanted it to happen, but just like things I could carry pretty easily, I just couldn't anymore, and I had trouble with like the easiest things, just like opening lids and everything. It was just like this complete mess, and yeah, I didn't expect that to actually happen to the same degree that it actually did, even though I was very happy in losing my muscle mass because it helped me becoming the person I wanted to be. But it's just like, it's like a double-edged sword, you know. I want to be strong, but also, you know, I want to be the person I am. It's just like one of the side effects, I guess, or side effects, how you want to put it, if that makes sense. And the second thing is the pain level when it comes to my chest growing. I never knew how painful it was going to be until it happened to me. Once I started going on the HRT, after around 3 months, I started noticing my chest developing, and they were so sore. Like, to the touch or anything like that, they were so sore, and it was so incredibly painful, and I was like kind of taken aback. What is happening? Is this normal? And once you're like going on the HRT, everything is kind of rapidly changing. So I had aches all around my body. It was so painful. Yeah. Then after a year or so, I went through a breast augmentation, and that was hella painful. Having the first pain and then the second pain on top of that, it was just like, yeah, it was painful. That's what I'm trying to say. But something that isn't painful is Catch Beauty's IPL machine, because this video is actually in sponsorship with Catch Beauty. I've talked about Catch Beauty so many times on my channel, so I'm going to keep it short and simple. But if you're not entirely sure what Catch Beauty does or what they sell, they mostly sell IPL machines. And an IPL machine is a little device like this that helps you remove your unwanted body hair and facial hair permanently at home. Like, you know by now that Catch Beauty is like my fave. I've been using them for 1.5 years, and I'm just really in love. And something else that I really love about Catch Beauty is their incentive to help trans people on their journeys. On their website, they sell things specifically curated for trans people, and that's why I just love them. Obviously, you can still purchase their products even if you're not trans, but it's just like a way for them to help the trans community, because many trans women struggle with facial hair. An IPL machine like this just really helps, and it isn't really painful at all. I mean, it is a little bit painful if you use it on the highest level, but you know, no pain, no gain, right? But if you're interested in getting an IPL machine or something else on their website, they have other things as well. You can use my discount code Mathilda. Here's my discount code Mathilda, and you can click the link down below or in my top comment. Discount code, top comment, or in my description box. And thank you so much for checking them out, because whenever you support a company that I work with, you also support me as well. But without further ado, let's get into number 3. How hard it was emotionally. Everything emotionally, but specifically dating. I knew that I was going to have a hard time finding someone, or just like everything. Just like transitioning, I knew that it was going to be hard. The emotional trauma and emotional damage that I was up for when it came to dating, I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a hard time like finding matches on Tinder. And I'm not saying that to be braggy or like, yeah, I got a lot of matches. I know that plenty of people do. I'm just saying that I didn't really have a hard time finding matches on Tinder. However, what was hard was me telling guys I was trans. I'm not saying that every guy out there just like opted out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that many guys opted out and many guys just said bye bye. That's that. However, there were a few guys who were willing to go on dates just because they liked what they saw and they liked my personality and so on. I'm just saying that the dating pool for me as a trans woman was just a lot smaller than for cisgender women. Finally, I met my future husband. I've been with him for 8 years, I think, 8-9 years. I'm not like, we don't really have a date, so I'm not really sure, and we're still together to this day. He didn't know that I was trans when we started talking. We started talking and then I told him that I was trans, and he asked me a few questions about it, wanted to know information, and then we went on a date and we fell in love, and here we are 8 or 9 years later. But number 4, how hard it was changing your name and everything revolving that topic. Here in Sweden, we have a process once you decide on transitioning. This whole process that takes years transitioning, and they help you with everything, and it's just like, yeah, this whole thing. And it took a few years until I could change my name and my legally. However, as I said, it's pretty easy once you're diagnosed, but that's not really what I'm talking about. The hard part comes next. Then after you've changed your name legally, you gotta change your name on different websites, on emails, and this whole thing, and it took years before everything was like completely done. And even like 2 years after, I still got mails directed to my old name, and it was just so goddamn annoying. And even though the Swedish government kind of helps you, you still need to change your bank, social media, games, emails. It's just so goddamn annoying. And beforehand, it had never crossed my mind a single time that it would be this hassle, so I was just like up for an amazing ride. That's fun. Best time of my life. And number 5 is how many people actually accepted me. The biggest obstacle I faced when transitioning for myself, I thought that everyone was going to leave me or hate me or just like, yeah. When growing up, I faced a lot of bullying and I experienced a lot of trauma going to school. So when I realized that I was trans, I've always known, kinda, but I have suppressed that part of myself. I haven't really wanted to face the heartaches or like the struggle of changing my life. So I just kind of suppressed that, and I was kind of hoping for those feelings to go away, but since I've always felt like that, obviously it didn't. But once I realized that I was trans and I wanted to do something about it, I didn't want to tell anyone except my mom, kinda kept it a secret. I always thought that I was going to face so much hate coming out, and when I did, no one hated me. My entire family was so loving and accepting, and most of my friends were as well. And when I came out on Facebook, just because, you know, you gotta change your name and everything like that, so when I came out on Facebook, people from my school, like my old school, they were all so nice and accepting, and I just wish I knew that beforehand, because I would have started the process so much earlier if I knew how accepting they were going to be. Obviously, I didn't know that beforehand, but sometimes people are so much nicer than you think, and my family have always been very open-minded, and they're all very like open-minded to the LGBTQ+, and they're very progressive as people, so I didn't know what I was thinking, but I carried a lot of self-hatred, so I was kind of under the impression that they were going to hate me as well. But obviously that wasn't the case, and I'm very happy how everything turned out. But number 6, and the final thing, is I didn't expect people to treat me differently, but they did. And what I'm talking about like society as a whole. Living life as a man and living life as a woman is very different. I have made countless videos on the differences between living as a man and living as a woman, so I'm going to keep it pretty short and simple, and I'm not going to go too much into it. But living as a woman is hard, and I know that you know this obviously, but I transitioned 10 years ago, and I was like up for a challenge. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. Like, I'm very happy with my life. I didn't really have a choice. I think this is something that people are kind of confused about. But me being a woman, or like Mathilda, it wasn't a choice. I was born like this, and I was just presenting as male. However, I never even once thought that I was a boy. I always knew that I was trapped in the wrong body, and it was just a struggle. And I went through a long process talking to doctors and psychologists and everything, and they helped me in becoming me. So this wasn't a choice. Who would choose living and presenting as the wrong gender and just like having to claw their way out? No one would choose that. But once I transitioned, since I had my entire life been presenting as male, I had the privilege of living as a man. But once I transitioned, that privilege kind of went away. It was like from one day to the next, that privilege just kind of disappeared. People assume that I'm cisgender. When I'm up and about in the world, I am assumed as a cisgender woman, and I'm treated accordingly. I wasn't prepared for the differences that I was up for, and I wasn't prepared for that, if that makes sense. And I'm not going to go deeper into it, but I think you all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that was pretty depressing. But I think that was all, and thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out Catch Beauty and their IPL machines and other things on their website. Discount code Mathilda, and link down below, top comment and description box. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!